course, of yourself. And it's fascinating to me because, of course, and we had a brief conversation about this, that when you grew up, of course, you probably thought your family was normal because you didn't know any other families that, were abnormal, right? So there's so many people that looked at that family like, what a gifted family. Did you know it was a gifted family and gifted performance when you were growing up?
No, absolutely not. Simply because I think when you're raised a certain way and you're around everyone and everyone's the same, so meaning our family, you don't look at it as being gifted or special or different or any of that nature. And aside from that, my mother always taught us and told us, you're no different than anyone else. This is just your job. This is what you do. This is your work. They have different works.
Entertainer, or were you fascinated with that sort of limelight? How were you drawn to the performance part of it?
Well, actually, it was my father who put me into the business. I didn't wish to be, I didn't want to be whatsoever. But I think we all started in the business because of my mother. It was her who told us that this is something that I'm going to do with you guys when you're at home, because it was a lot of us. And she would sing. We started on country western music, whether you guys know it or not. And my mother would sing harmony with us in country western songs. And that's what we would do. One day, my brother, yes, we should probably switch, yes? We would sing and make harmony, country western. And my brother, Tito, decided I'm going to get the guitar, because my father played the guitar, but he didn't know we were doing any of this. My father, guitar, Tito, took and said, I'm going to do some strokes just to add to the singing to make it sound really wonderful and great. And he did that, just naturally doing it. And of course, he popped a string of my father's guitar. And everybody went silent. Just harmony stopped, everything stopped. Everybody went silent. We didn't know what to do because we were afraid what my father was going to do when he came home and saw that his guitar was broken. So my mother had to tell him what happened and tell him the story and how it happened. Sing, and she says, yes, Joe, they can sing. And he says, I've never heard them sing. And she said, I know you haven't. And so she mentioned the guitar. And he looked at the guitar, looked at the string, and said, who did this? And it was, of course, Tito. And he took the guitar and tossed it to Tito and said, if you can play me something. And Tito just started playing. He started playing. I don't know where he got this from. He just started playing the blues. And it was so interesting how he did that. And my father, for once, said, Kate, these kids have talent. He goes, I know, Joe, you just didn't know. And so that's how it all started.
Was it all of them? As a performer yourself, who did you look up to?
Well,
out of your brothers?
Out of my brothers, it was basically all of them, but I think Mike showed more of an interest in saying, this is what you should do, this is what you need to do, and do this. Because I used to always say, Mike, I would sit on my hands all the time, and I said, my hands are so big. He says, so are mine. He says, use them, express yourself, use them. Let people see your hands. Don't be afraid of them. Don't be shy of them. He says, Fred Astaire uses his hands to move and make his movements. You do the same. And that really changed me because I started thinking, don't be afraid. Just work with what you have and make the best out of it. Very close friends. We would call each other in the morning. And Mother would call me from her room and say, honey, what are we going to do today? I said, I don't know, Mother, whatever you want to do. So we would just probably go shopping or do whatever. And because my mother would love, she would always just want to go out. Meaning go out to shop or whatever, or just go in furniture stores or whatever and look, or look at homes. We used to do that a lot as well. However, it was so embarrassing that my brothers, they would always tease me, and they would always say, there goes Mother in her shadow. Oh. Because wherever Mother was, I was there. Yes, I speak to my mother every day if I can. When I say if I can, because sometimes she doesn't hear her phone ring, but she goes, oh, hi, honey, I knew it was you. So yes, I love speaking to my mother because there's just so many memories there. And when she answers, you're mine, you start reminiscing, because we know that they're not going to be with us for the rest of their lives. And we should value and appreciate every moment that we have. My mother's going on 95.
Wow.
So, yes. And she has all of her senses, everything's there. The only thing is that she's not as mobile as she used to be. But other than that, she's totally fine, which is great. Everybody's roasting marshmallows or doing whatever they do. But what we enjoyed most, so we enjoyed the little kids. We enjoyed them trying to draw something, say, guess what it is? And it's like, nobody could ever guess. Nobody could ever guess, but we just tried to make them feel good. Go, oh, that must be a bumblebee. And it was nothing, no, it's a stick. So yes, we would always make the kids feel welcome, and they felt like they were a part of it, meaning we're playing with the adults. Yes.
Besides your by history, people looking back at entertainment history.
That's a very interesting question, because when you grow up a certain way, I have to say that I would want my family to be remembered that they have left a legacy of music that express love, talent, kindness, and joy to the world, where the world can take this music and expound on it and continue to grow from that. And this music that my family has left, I never want it to be erased from the world. And Mike was so in awe of Sydney. And we were home one day, and I called his phone, and I pretended to be the secretary of Sydney Lumet. And I told him Sydney wants to come over, he wants to come by to see you. Mike was running around the house. Sydney Lumet's coming over, Sydney Lumet's coming over. Make sure you close the door, do this, do that. And he was just going and just running. I go, Mike, he is? And he says, yes, yes, yes. And he was so excited, and he was getting dressed and making sure he looked proper, making sure he told the chef to make sure he had all the foods out and everything. And he was running around. And I said, well, when is he coming? What time is he coming? Because, I was just asking those questions, knowing that I was the secretary. And he was telling me, he's going to be here soon. He's so upset. I had on this velvet vest with velvet skirt. He took a bucket of water and threw it all over me. And then he grabbed the water hose and just sprinkled me down. He said, that was you? I can't believe it. And yes, of course it was. Throw it at me on the whole bed. And for some odd reason, my brother just defied that, and Mike decided that I'm going to get a chimpanzee. And he would have them come to the house and have them just bring the animals to the house, meaning the chimps. And he was trying to just bring my mother in with it and warm her with it. And she wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. She says, Mother, can I please have it? Can I please? She goes, I don't know, I'll think about it. And then the next day again, there was. And he said, Mother, what do you think? Can I have it? She goes, only if you make sure you take care of it and make sure everything's done and clean and well. However, at the end of the day, I have to say that Bubbles became a part of our family. Not only was he a part of our family, but he would sit at the dinner table. He would eat with us. And Mike had trained Bubbles so well. He would tell Bubbles, especially whenever I was in Mike's room, he'd go, Bubbles, it's time to go to bed. Go to bed. Bubbles would go put on his pajamas. No, he would do this every night. He would put on his pajamas, and then he would sit down by the bed, because Mike had to hide a bed in his room. He didn't want a bed, so the kind you pull out. And Bubbles would pull at that out, because, they can jump and swing on. It's so important to have yourself centered and be in the calm. When I say the calmness of yourself, and not let anything else interrupt you or disrupt you. What we all make the mistake of is that we are so eager and quick to get angry and jump mad at each other. But you must remember that no one can make you angry but yourself. You allow this negative energy to come in. Don't allow that. Keep that away from you. You stay centered. Know who you are. Know what you want in life. And this is what's so important. Be a confident person within yourself and not worry about what anybody else think. What I always say to myself, I don't need anyone else to make me happy. I don't need anyone to validate me. I validate myself.
And we